All right, here we go. We are live. Good morning, everybody, if you are watching live, and good afternoon and good evening if you're watching any other time. My name is Chris. This is my channel. We love comics, and I have two unboxings I'm going to do for you today. One, just to show that sometimes, you make a bid and you don't think that you're going to win, and you win anyway. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. But I have another one, because I want to make sure there's positive as well, that I got one at a pretty good deal. So I want to show people that, yeah, sometimes you're not always going to win, and that's okay. You cannot focus on the negative unless you want a negative life. So with that being said, I want to make sure people know that I am live, and even if you are not a part of my channel, never seen it before, and you're not subscribed, come on in and join the live chat, especially if you want your name shouted out. If you join the live chat, I do a surprise subscriber shout out at the end. So if you want to be one of those people, come on in, join the conversation. It's always fun. Everybody here is, they basically get along, and I like that. And I want to remind people there's only 2 days left on the special bonus for the cashback program. If you sign up by clicking the link that I provide in the live chat, in the description, and or the comment section, which will be pinned to the top, if you spend $30 or more using their service on any of their different websites they affiliate with. It doesn't have to be comics, but hey, it's a comic channel, why not? And you spend $30 or more before May 11th. Normally it's a $10 cashback, but it's $30 until May 11th. So you only have 2 days left, so sign up by clicking on the link. And always, I want to make sure with the full disclosure, if you click on the link and sign up, it is free. Make sure you check if there's any restrictions in your area. And also, if you do spend the $30, I do get a one-time referral fee, so it helps my channel out, especially since I've been out of work now, going on almost 2 months. So with that being said, I see enough people are starting to arrive. Let me say hello to Whiskey, Stills, and Tumbleweeds. Gizmo, one of our moderators. Dennis, Rick is here. Welcome. Let me put on the video camera now. Michael is here. Lee is here. So this way you guys can see the unboxing. So I'm going to do the quote-unquote negative one. I mean, I didn't super overpay, but it was definitely one that I made a bid, and I'm like, it's not gonna, it was probably gonna sell for higher than that. I wasn't sure if I really wanted it, and I'll explain why, but it's not like I spent $5,000 on a book that's worth $1. But most people, if they end up, because a lot of people, I've heard this story, well, they'll bid on something they weren't sure if they really wanted, and then they get that buyer's remorse, and then they'll be dishonest and make up some excuse to return it. See, I won't do that. So sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. I got the book. It's not a bad book, but I'll explain when I get it. So they did package it pretty well, and of course I will mention the price. So I paid about what it's worth. So I cannot feel too bad, but I will keep it, and we'll see where it goes in the future. So let me show the book, and then I have another one afterwards and everything. And Dennis said, Chris, I noticed with my eBay bucks on my eBay, they don't let me use them in the app. And you wrote nothing else. I'm not sure. Maybe the time has passed that you had to use them at a certain point. Contact eBay and ask them about that. I'm not really sure. It could be just a glitch in the app and it needs to be updated. But if it doesn't work on the app, use your laptop or something. So keep me posted on that. Alright, so here's the first book. It is Incredible Hulk. I wish it was number 1, but it's Incredible Hulk number 5. So if you know anything about Hulk, he started out with Hulk 1 through 6. And then, because he wasn't very popular back in the days, they switched him to Tales to Astonish, where he stayed there until issue 101, and then they had Incredible Hulk 102. From there on, he had his own solo comic book. So there is no issue 7 through 101, at least as far as Incredible Hulk is concerned. Now, this one has a detached cover, and the cover is split. So that's why I wasn't that keen on it. It does, as you could see, some damage on the spine. So this is about a 1.5 to a 1.8, 2.0 pushing it. But I paid $158. Where did I write it down? Hold on. I have no idea. Oh, the box is right here. I paid I paid $128.35. So, not a bad book. I mean, it is not coverless. It does have a detached cover, and the covers are split. So, it is a low-grade book, and there's not anything significant. I used to own, when I was a kid, Hulk number 6. That was the earliest I ever got, but that's one of the books of mine that got stolen back in the days. So, I wish I had number 1, but I have yet to get that book. But I have issue 2 and 3, and now 5. So, almost the first 6. Of course, the hardest one to get is number 1. But, again, I wasn't really keen on winning this one. I didn't care if I won it because I bid probably a little bit higher than I wanted to for this lower grade book. But, again, I didn't pay double what it's worth or anything. I paid right around what it's worth. So, it is what it is. You never know because there's going to be more Hulk. This could end up being a little bit more desirable, and we'll see what happens with it. But Mr. Comics says, hey, Chris, thanks for the response to my email. No problem. I think I'm going to buy it because it's my holy grail and the funds are available to me. If you like it, then by all means, get it. Get it if you're happy. And Comics and Beer says low grade is better than no grade. Absolutely. So the first one, and I got another one coming that'll be a positive one. This is Hulk number 5. Still not a bad comic, like I said. So I'm going to show you the other one because I want to show people, you know, hey, sometimes you make a bid, but you got to honor it. You know, you don't make up an excuse to return it. You want to make sure you do the right thing because karma will always find you. It may not be that day, it may not be that week, it may not be that year, but it tends to follow you. So this person just took a piece of a box and folded it. So, I mean, as long as the comic is protected inside, I don't care, but, you know, some people don't want to splurge for a box. I don't understand that, but, you know, at least it's not a manila envelope, which is something I got that I'll be doing a video probably tomorrow on. Gotta love when they send those. So, yeah, not exactly quality boxing, but if it holds the comic, then I will be happy. Alright, they did not put it in a bag and board. Well, they put it in an old bag. A pressing would definitely help this book. Actually looks pretty darn good, so I am going to pull this out. They put it in a big Ziploc bag. But, back looks good. With a pressing, this could get a 9.0 or even higher, because I don't see any ticks. So I'd have to check it over. But here we go. We got Amazing Spider-Man number 300. This is probably my 6th or 7th copy. Newsstand edition. That's key with this book. Makes it a lot more desirable. Got this book for $155. So Amazing Spider-Man 300, which of course is the first full appearance of Venom. This is the most popular. 25th anniversary issue. Put it in a Ziploc bag. And the funny part is, this person, I don't know if they really did, but says $2. I would have loved it for $2. Maybe he paid $2. But that probably means he had it for a long time, which would explain why it's in this old Ziploc bag. But it, especially with the back being black, there is not one tick along the spine. So this could end up being a high-grade book. But even if it was a 9.0, I'd still be happy, especially with a newsstand. So, folding is really bad. It can crease the book. Yeah, well, the good thing is a pressing can fix that, because it does look like it's got a little bit of a concave here, which means the person probably stacked a bunch of books over it. So pressing will definitely help this book, but it's not... I don't see any color-breaking creases. The corners look pretty darn good. So considering this person put it in an old Ziploc bag with no backing board, they took care of it pretty nice. And I thought there was a little mark on the back, but that's actually on the Ziploc bag. So $155 for Amazing Spider-Man 300. And this wasn't a best offer. This was an actual ending auction. So I won this recently, and it wasn't a best offer. So I paid $155, and that includes shipping and handling for newsstand variant of Amazing Spider-Man 300. And I paid $128 and change for a split detached cover Hulk number 5. So, probably overpaid for this one, but that's alright. I didn't majorly or paid about what it would be worth for the grade it is. and definitely made what I would say a steal for what these comics usually go for. I mean, you can't even really get the other version of this comic, not the newsstand, but the I'm going blank, but you guys know, the regular comic for this one. I've seen 7.5s sell for $200. So those are the two books. Let me put the link one more time, so if you just arrive, and like I said, you only have 2 days left. It ends May 11th. Click on the link that I provide in the chat, in the description, or in the comment section. I'll post that and I'll pin it to the top. Toy Radiation says, bad times are coming. This economy is headed for ugly, very ugly. Well, even if that's true, doesn't mean you have to be affected by it. If you know anything about the Great Depression, which was probably one of the worst times in U.S. history, financially speaking, there were more millionaires that came out of the Great Depression than any other time in U.S. history. So even if that is 100% true, it does, and Joe, thank you, Direct Edition, thank you, I had a brain fart there. Just because things can get bad, if you're prepared for them, you don't have to worry. You can end up making some very good deals. Like I said, in times like this, you could be the seller who has to sell this for cheaper than they could have, or you could be the buyer that is able to get them. So you're only limited to the way you think. So if people want to be negative all the time, and I understand why. It's not that people want to be negative, it's just that's how the world is. The world bombards you with nothing more than negativity of, oh, you know, everything's going to be bad and everybody's going to die and everybody's this. Do you know how many times the world was supposed to end in our history? You know, it's not in your best interest to have a mentality of always looking over your shoulder wondering what's going to come get you. Because, I mean, you could literally have a bright sunny day, everything's going well, you can open your front door, and all of a sudden a plane out of the sky crashes into your house. The idea is if you worry about every little potential thing that could happen, you'll drive yourself crazy, and then you are not living a happy life. And trust me, I did that for a long time, so I speak out of experience. But there are many people that use negativity as a way to get attention. That's why you'll see, even on my channel, there are people that will just be mean, nasty, and leave and just be not a nice person because it makes them happy. It fills a void that will never be filled. There are better ways. So, Toy Radiation, I agree. Times are going to get bad because of the situation. But it doesn't have to affect you unless you want it to, or unless you're so afraid you don't do anything. If you're in a race and you crawl up in a ball because you're afraid of the competition, well, you're never going to win the race because you'll be too afraid to run. So, as they say in life, if the world hands you lemons, make lemonade. Don't sit there and say, what am I going to do with this? Because remember, there are people that became multimillionaires selling cow manure because they found a use for it in farming. So you are limited to your own thought process. If you sit there saying, woe is me, with your hands over your head saying, I'll never do anything, you are going to make that true. Why do that to yourself? So yes, I agree that things are going to get really bad and really ugly, but it's not going to affect me, and it doesn't have to affect you. This could be a time for you to thrive if you choose it. But it's always a choice. That's the thing about free will. If there are people out there, there are some people in this world, no matter what you say, they're going to be negative, they're going to be angry, they're going to fight you. And my thing is, I no longer waste my time arguing with people, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, arguing with people that will not hear something, that are just sitting there saying, my way is the only way, blah, 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 it's fear, it's danger, it's scary, everybody's going to die. Because here's an old lesson that you can learn, and it's a famous quote, I don't remember who said it, and I'm not probably directly quoting it. And Toy Radiation, I know you're not trying to be negative, I'm just saying as in general, because I understand what you're saying, and like I said, I agree with you. Times are going to get bad, but it doesn't mean it has to be bad for everybody. Because remember, Noah's Ark, there was a flood. We're still here to tell the tale, so whether it was true or not, who knows, but even if it wasn't, it's an allegory to say that even if the whole world goes underwater, there will always be people that survive and even thrive. So you can make a choice to say, today's the day. I am going to do the best that I can with what I have to make sure I never end up like 90% of the world. 90% of the world is going to live in fear, is going to say, woe is me, is going to hope and pray, and never do anything to make themselves better. That doesn't guarantee things, but I would rather lose in a race that I gave my all in than to sit on the sidelines and always wonder, what if? Again, it's always a choice. So the quote I'm going to leave you with is, when I was talking about why I don't argue with those people anymore, because my old channel, people that have been watching me, I had an original We Love Comics channel, and I got a lot of hate. What else is new? And I ended up shutting my channel down. I used to argue with people all the time. But I learned this very important thing. When you argue with a fool, and I'm not saying anybody here, I'm just saying this is a quote. I'm talking about the average person who, no matter what you say, will not listen, and they're very argumentative, and they're not willing to hear other voices, and they'll just say they're right no matter what. When you argue with a fool, the only thing you learn is that there are two fools in the conversation. So my advice to those who care, free will gives you the opportunity to do everything, do nothing, or do everything in between. There is always consequences for your actions and inactions, because even if you don't make a choice, you make a choice. So my recommendation is, live your life to the fullest. Do the best that you can. And if it doesn't work out, you can sit back and say, you know what, I did everything in my power, it just wasn't meant to be. You can live with that. Regret is not doing the things you wish you would have out of fear, out of peer pressure, out of doubt, out of whatever. And looking back and saying, boy, my life could have been so much more different if I would have spoke to that girl, or if I would have taken that job, or if I would have reached for that opportunity, or I would have bettered myself. But then it's too late. Don't be one of those people. But the thing is, you can if you want. So the ones that are negative on my channel, and nobody here is negative. I'm talking about the haters that say the nasty things. I don't even argue with them anymore. I just delete and block them when they say nasty things. I used to be one of those people that used to confront them. It's a waste of time. So yes, I really feel that there is going to be bad days ahead. But it doesn't have to be bad days for you. If you look at all the deals I've been getting lately, again, I'm no millionaire. I don't have a trust fund. I didn't marry into money. I don't have family giving me thousands upon thousands of dollars. I work for everything I have. But instead of being a victim, I'm being a success. Now, success to me does not mean I have to be a multi-millionaire living in some mansion driving a Ferrari. Success means in times of tragedy, I can hold my head above water. Because even if your nose is this high above the water, it's a heck of a lot better than this far under. Choose differently. Unless people like to be victims and have everybody pat them on the back and say, oh, I feel so bad for you. Remember, babies learn from basically birth that when they cry and scream, they get attention. If that's the way some people want to live their life, by crying and screaming and ranting and raving and being depressed and shouting out anger and being abusive, it's a choice. You can live that, but to me, that's not a life. I used to be very angry. I used to always go after people that went after me. Now I figure the only person I'm hurting is myself. So why do it? So, as usual, I turn a comic book video into a therapy session for everybody, but I know if there's at least one person that appreciates and listens to this and it changes their thought process, then to me that's a good thing. I'll never, at this point, reach 1 million people on this video, especially with YouTube, but if I get one person to look into it and think a different way, then hey, it's wonderful. So, one more time, I'm going to post that link. Share it if you've already signed up. You only have 2 days left to get the $30 cashback bonus. These are the 2 comics. I will put this in a new bag and board. I may get that one sent out one of these days. But, like I said, you win some, you lose some. I am not disappointed, because yes, I probably overpaid for this book, but I honored it, and I ended up reaping the rewards with another. So sometimes you're going to lose out. That's the gamble and the risk you take. But if you know what you're doing, you will win more times than you'll lose. And if you watch my videos, you'll see time and time again, I tend to win more than I lose. But it doesn't mean you're not prone to it. So don't shoot yourself in the head. Don't say, woe is me. Don't get angry. Just say, hey, I'll learn from the experience so I never do it again. And if that's the case, then it can't be bad because it was a tool to help you improve your life. That's how I see things. How you see them is up to you. So let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. If you want to be one, just hit the subscribe button. You don't have to. But Toy Radiation, we're going to give you the surprise subscriber shout out because thanks to your comment, I was able to do hopefully a little inspiring for people. Just want you to know personally, I had no problem with what you said, so I don't want you to think all that was geared towards you. I'm talking about people in general, and I'm sure you understand that because you're one of my regular subscribers. So I like Donuts 57 says, thanks for the comic therapy. Could use it. And that's why I think some people like my channel. Anybody can show a comic book. You know, anybody can show they got a good deal or a bad deal. I like to add a little bit of life into it so you can use it for more than comics, even though you can use them for comics. And my channel is here to help any way I can. For those who appreciate it, that's wonderful. For those that don't, what I would recommend is go somewhere that helps you to improve your life. Because if you stay stagnant, you're a pond. If you're a person that thrives and moves around, you're a stream. Streams are always clear because they keep moving. Ponds are full of scum. They're full of muck. And you would never want to drink that water because it doesn't go anywhere. So if your life feels stagnant, maybe it's because you've chosen to be a pond. Well, here's the beautiful thing about free will. You can change it in an instant. You just got to want to. So thanks for listening. If you appreciated my little inspiration, give it a thumbs up. And do not forget to give the shout out a shout out. And don't forget, once again, there's not a lot of forgetting here. It's not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. Even the ones we don't always get the best deal on. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you next video.